via computer. Technology, is great. They call in if they need something. We have the ability to call it up and show them. Go to meetings, Zoom, things like that. We can do exactly what we're doing here. If they have questions on the design, they can call in and talk to Ted. If they have questions related to the customers, turn-ons, et cetera, we're able to work through our customer service group. So it's worked out pretty well. As far as, talking about where we're going, Frontier prepares annual budgets. BlackRock is, this is again, they manage $7.4 trillion worth of assets. They're very numbers-driven type people. They want to see what we've got planned, what our projects are. So we prepare an annual budget. We incorporate what Kim has given us and identified for immediate construction in an annual budget. We also put together 5- and 10-year forecasts for growth. Frontier has really just scratched the surface. Again, I'll go back and say, it was formed in 1998, but when you look at natural gas companies, and Randy, this goes back to you talking about natural gas in the Washington area, having grown up in the North myself, I was accustomed to natural gas my whole life. I think it is a great fuel. There is an abundance of natural gas right now. If you go to Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, that's where a lot of the Utica and Marcellus wells have been drilled. Having done this for a long time, gas, when I started in this industry in 1974, so it kind of dates me, you can see gas flowed from the Gulf Coast to the north on all these transmission lines, such as Transco, who we get our gas from, or who we have a city gate that we get our gas off of at the city gate that brings it through our transmission line. This is the first time over the last 4 years, 5 years, that gas now flows from the north to the south, as well as from the south to the north. So we're kind of at the null point. We have the ability to get gas from both directions at Frontier Natural Gas. And so it's been interesting. It's kind of an evolving industry. I think it's exciting. We have again, I could touch on the employees. We have everybody's local. We try to keep everybody here locally. We've hired some young people. We just recently hired a controller. He's been with us approximately 90 days now. Went to school at App State, worked for one of the larger accounting firms in the Southeast, and wanted to come home. And so we brought him back here in March. We're happy to have him on board. We have a young engineer. She went to North Carolina State, and she's been with us now almost 3 years. We have some other folks that are going back to school. One of the things about Hearthstone and BlackRock, they encourage us to train our people. We have a lot of compliance training that we have to go through on a regular basis, and we continue to do that. We take the month of January. One of the things about working in North Carolina is we're able to work on new construction almost year round. But in January, when the weather is a little bit poor, we do try to do a lot of training. We have some things that are due on an annual basis, some every other year. So we train our employees pretty much in January. We take couple weeks, 2.5 weeks, and try to do a lot of training that has to be done. When I talk about the dollars, we try to address the communities that reach out to us. Kim holds community meetings. She tries to work with the economic development folks in those areas. We're really we're just excited about the potential for Frontier. We had to put some projections together for BlackRock, and we currently have behind pipe 13,000 potential customers that we're currently not serving. So we're working on some ways to help serve those folks, maybe help them do their conversions. We hope to present something to the North Carolina Utility Commission later this year to help people that want to convert to natural gas from an alternative fuel, see if we can come up with some way to help them do that. So I guess, from my standpoint, if there's questions of myself and or Kim or Ted, I hope I've not went too fast. I hope I've given you kind of an overview of what Frontier does, where we're going. We have a lot of growth, continued growth. We're spending anywhere from $3.5 to $6 million a year in expanding our pipelines. We're going to continue to do that. I think as BlackRock as our financial partner, they're probably going to encourage us to even do more. So with that, I'll open it up, see if anybody's got any questions.
One of our members, Joe Zelzik, has asked any plans to provide natural gas to residential customers in Mount Airy in the city limits.
Yes, we have phases that we do, and I think what we try to, yes, we currently serve residential customers within Mount Airy, and what we would like to do, and I'm going to encourage you. You can call me, you can call Kim, Ted. What we'd like to do is, if there's a particular area, if you're a residential customer living in a particular area, I encourage you to get a hold of Kim, and then we will set up a community meeting or a residential meeting with people on your particular street or within a couple streets. We would like to do that. And now it's kind of hard to do right now, but we could do it virtually. We've not done a community meeting virtually. I don't believe we have we, Kim? Are you still on here?
Yeah.
Now, but we could do that. But what we like to do, and that's when we come in, I would come with Kim, Ted would come, and we'd bring the maps, see, show you where we are, and then we can do the we have to do an economic feasibility model on every expansion project we do. That's required by the North Carolina Utility Commission, so we have to do one for everyone. So if you live in a residential area within Mount Airy or any of the other areas that we serve within counties, please reach out to Kim, and we'll be more than happy to set up a time to come and sit down with you, look at your area, and see if we can. We do have Mount Airy, and we have various phases of Mount Airy that we want to do over the next 5 years, but we would like to, if you have one and we're not serving and you think it's one we need to look at and we have it, please contact us.
John Tarn asks, where do most of your engineers come from for natural gas? Are they sourced locally for these jobs?
Currently, the engineering projects we have in-house, we have Taylor Younger, who is from Mount Airy. Taylor's been with us about 3 years now. We have engineers in our other division. We have a director of engineering, and we have engineers in each of the divisions of the Hearthstone family of companies. But we design almost all of our projects are designed here internally. I believe. Is that correct, Ted? Yes. Yeah. We're designing just about everything internally at this point in time. We have used, in the past, we have had to use some outside engineering firms for some DOT projects, and those we've had to send out RFPs. And so we have used outside engineering firms. Some of the things we do from a compliance standpoint, it's a specialty when it comes to the compliance. It's people that's in the natural gas distribution industry, and there are some engineering firms that specialize in that. So if it's something related to compliance, we typically are using one of those. But we've used North Carolina. Well, it's not a North Carolina firm. It's a worldwide firm, but we have used a Charlotte firm to help us with some compliance issues.
Do you plan on drilling any of your own wells? Does the company do that, or do they get into that side of the business?
Well, we do not drill any of our wells. Having said that, one of the things with BlackRock, I think if you read some of the news out of New York, it's not all bad. Some of the news that you read, one of the things that they look at is reducing their carbon footprint. What BlackRock, the fund that we are in, is an infrastructure fund that is primarily utilities, roads, water and sewer, electric, wind, solar. Frontier, Hearthstone, our parent, our senior management at the Hearthstone level are all primarily from a company that was Nicor, which was a Chicago-based company. I believe it's now Southern Gas. Those folks, they have a utility background. I do not foresee Frontier ever drilling any wells of its own. Again, I'll go back to in Ohio, you have the Utica and Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia. You have the Marcellus Shale. There's been a huge amount of drilling activity in those areas. And that is the gas that we now are able to access and flow from the north to the south. We buy our gas from a natural gas supplier that's located in Reading, Pennsylvania. Currently. We just entered into a contract to buy all of our gas for the next 3 years with a company out of Reading.
Right.
I don't foresee Frontier or any of our other sister companies ever doing any drilling themselves.
You know, what do you see from, obviously you guys think that the natural gas side is the best choice, but when customers are making that decision, what do they need to consider?
Well, I think the customers, I mean, propane will be an integral part of the service territory for Frontier for many, many years. You know, because of the cost of building the infrastructure, as I said, $167 million since 1998. Frontier has a long way to go before it will reach out into all of these communities and be able to serve with the natural gas lines. I mean, I think natural gas, both are going to be required in this area for a long time. I mean, I don't foresee, you know, we have a great working relationship with the local propane companies here in Elkin and in Boone in particular. They do a lot of service work for us. You know, one of the things, because we are regulated, we do not do any work on the outlet side of the meter. And that's something we've been able to work with the local propane companies, and they've been great to work with. So I foresee both propane and natural gas being part of the infrastructure, primarily for those, I think as we build, as you see, as we build, continue to build our lines, most especially right now with the cost of natural gas being so low, we are very competitive, much more competitive with natural gas than with propane. I just think it's probably a matter of many, many years. You know, I guess I'll put it this way. I'll be pushing up daisies before propane is no longer, you know, no longer going to be utilized in this town.
Right.